Hey guys, it's your best boxing friends. I'm Kelsey. This is Rachel. Rachel, I wonder if we could dive in a little bit on the big fight pay-per-view that happened over the weekend between Deontay Wilder and Luis Ortiz. And I want to talk specifically about some of the choices Fox is making when they present information to the audience, because I find it troubling, and I would like to talk about why that is, and if you feel the same way.
What is this information you find troubling?
Well, they have this nasty habit, and it's a choice, of denoting champions with a little C by their names. And even on their graphics, when they put up champions for a division, they put up the champions from the WBC, the IBF, and the WBA, but not the WBO, which is the fourth of the four major world title alphabet organizations we have them, okay? That's just the truth. These are the four universally accepted ones per the International Boxing Hall of Fame. Those are the ones that they accept as well. Everybody who follows boxing knows that these are the four major world title bouts. On top of that, the PBC denotes the WBA is an example of somebody who has a super champion, a regular champion, all these, whatever. They've also, I've seen them put world champions, call people world champions that don't even have the top WBA honor, while ignoring the existence of the WBO.
So you're saying that when looking at the graphics or what commentators say on PBC broadcast, that they only mention belts for 3 of the 4 major alphabet belts.
They ignore the WBO.
And when they mention, they don't just mention the top belt in each of those 3. They also mention
I've seen situations where they present
belts, while still ignoring the WBO altogether.
Yeah, they present, like when Manny Pacquiao had the regular WBO title.
Whoever's in charge of that, maybe they're closer to being a casual fan and they don't really understand.
So I don't think that that's the case. The story I make up is that and I think this is out there, you can read about it in some articles, or I've seen it at least pointed out, that some people in boxing believe that the WBO bends over backwards to work with Top Rank, which is a rival promotional company. Okay, so if PBC fighters therefore are not ranked in that organization and don't fight for those title belts on purpose because of that, then I think the answer isn't to pretend as if these aren't the 4 major belts, but the answer is, here are the champions in the division. Oh, and here's what we think the PBC or Fox, if you want to put them together, about what the WBO does. So I just think there's an important difference between presenting what I would argue are lies or not representations of the truth, which is a journalist's job.
I think what you're saying is either the PBC should list out, if they're going to decide to put a little like C next to names to denote champions, that they should just do it in accord with the way all of boxing
that's my point.
Shows, or I would say, if you're not going to, then minimally you should be upfront about that. And we watch a lot of boxing, and I don't know that I've ever seen or heard PBC come out and be like, oh, here's how we're denoting champions, and we're excluding the WBO because
why? And here's our good reason. And I think that would
go viral. I don't think I would have to watch everything they put out to catch that. I think if the PBC did that or Fox did that, everybody would be talking about it. So they haven't done that, and that's dumb.
The other issue or point I want to point out is that I think that the PBC on Fox crew, the people that they hire, is lacking a real journalist or somebody that at least is playing the role of real journalist. So, and I'm not trying to throw shade at anybody on their team. I think they do a good job. But other than this, you don't have a real journalist sitting there that's going to tell you things like I think I just pointed out. There's some things that they do that obscure the truth.
Yeah, we find on other broadcasts that sometimes there is somebody there who I would describe as being like me and like you. Like, we are real, true, like, boxing fans.
Oh, okay.
So I can't come out and I can't, like, get on your broadcast and, like, say, oh, this person is, the lineal champion no matter what. And I can't just
Yeah.
have that come out of me without me being like,
You
hey.
need like a Chris Mannix type.
Right.
Gonna
so
tell
Chris
you,
Mannix would be an example. Obviously, Larry Merchant was an example.
Yeah, on HBO they did this. they didn't just toe the line of whatever the promoter told them to say.
Right.
Right. Because they knew what they were covering. It looks like the PBC on Fox people went out and hired
like a lot of color analysts or people outside.
And people that were like hosts that were intended to not be.
Well, I'm thinking back over the pay-per-view, right? So who did I see on the far away camera in between fights? It was that lady in the bright neon.
I don't remember her name.
Yellow.
But I know that.
And then Mancini.
Yeah, Ray Mancini, who's an ex-fighter, right?
Yeah,
and then you have Sean Porter, who's also a
fighter. So
current fighter.
2 colors.
And then a guest would be another fighter they would bring up there.
Which sometimes isn't there all the time. So I remember those 3 Saturday.
So
and then
color commentators.
You go to in locker room or, in the corner and you have Jordan and Heidi, I think are their names. 2 women who are also, I'm pretty sure, outside.
Or at least brought into boxing from outside of it.
Yeah.
Right.
Not saying they don't know what they're doing. This is what they train for. This is their job.
Yeah.
And all of them
do a good job at
an excellent job.
Right.
But and then you have the ringside,
and you've got Brian Kenny is the play-by-play guy. You got Lennox Lewis as one of the color commentators. And then the other one is
Goosen,
who's a trainer.
Yeah.
Okay. So in that, if you're going to point fingers in those 3, then the journalist guy is supposed to be Brian Kenny
should,
but he's the play-by-play guy too.
So it's not really his place to do that. So you need Anyway, I agree with you. I do find it frustrating. When I enjoyed the pay-per-view, I did notice that to me as a real, I don't want to say real, but just as somebody more involved in boxing. You follow this more closely,
so you know what boxing is.
I'm kind of there's nobody there that represents me.
Right.
And my interests. Yeah, and I want another person like me to be there. So when I watch DAZN, I'm like, Chris Mannix, that's me. Even other people, they do I think Sergio Mora does a good job as color, but also as, he really, I think he does a really great job. And he can be a little more, I don't want to say harsh, but he can be very straightforward with what he's doing. And somebody like, I don't know, Tim Bradley or Sean Porter, I don't see them as being as that straightforward.
But on ESPN, you at least have Max Kellerman sitting in there in the host chair on the stage. And Max Kellerman has been in boxing his whole life, so he doesn't pretend as if the regular WBA champion is considered a world champion. He doesn't do silly things like that because it's not the truth. That's the point.
Yeah. So sometimes you have people on a broadcast who are saying things because maybe they don't know that it's not true.
Or maybe they're just doing as they're told, which I get if the guy's paying you the checks. So it's really not this, and I wrote a little bit about this, and I'll leave the link in the show notes, in my hits and misses column. The PBC is not doing anything when it does things like this that any other boxing promoter does all the time. Golden Boy just did this with the Canelo Alvarez, with the he hasn't won 4 world titles in 4 different weight classes. His 168-pound title is not a legitimate world title. However, the people at Fox, at least somebody there at Fox is supposed to be represent journalism. There should be somebody, and it should have been negotiated or something there that represents real journalism, or at least half real journalism. I'm not asking you to bring in whoever from the regular news cycle world, but I'm asking you to bring in somebody that's going to tell. Because here's the problem: if you want to create new fans, that's great. I love boxing. I want to have more fans, but then you're creating more confusion, right? It's almost as if they look at everything in this vacuum and we're going to create all these new fans for our PBC. That's not going to happen. You create boxing fans, and they're going to watch fights elsewhere. And it's already too hard and overcomplicated to learn how boxing works, and especially when people just present things that factually are not true. And I don't want to see that when I watch big fights, because other than that little thing, what a great night for boxing. You have one of the biggest stars, one of the hardest punching heavyweights ever. I don't want to be talking about this on Monday because I feel like I have to.
I will say what this reminded me of was and I forget whose quote this is, but like what you resist persists. So it's almost like the PBC or Fox is resisting, at least like one of the major alphabet belts out there. But like you're part of the confusion then. You're part of like denying reality instead of like maybe as a boxing as a whole, if we just welcome in, like I get that it's confusing, but welcome in the history of the sport.
You have to just...
And that is what the alphabet belts represent in part, is history. And history is good. Like we want to recognize like our boxing history.
I don't like the alphabet belts, but they do exist. Just because I don't like what they do, I can't pretend that they don't exist or that those aren't the 4 major sanctioning organizations and have been for some time now. I can't deny that that's the truth. Nobody at PBC on the Fox crew should do that either.
Yes. And you shouldn't deny the truth of how like great our YouTube show is, and you should like comment, I don't like that.
I think it's Wonder Woman who said, "Tell the truth." What? She lassos you.
We appreciate when you like, comment, and subscribe, though.
Yeah.
Even if we have failed transitions into asking you to do that for us.
Yeah. If you have like any kind of like criticism of our show, go ahead and write it down on a piece of paper and just fold it up and put it in your pocket.
No.
Yeah. I'm just kidding.
No. Go do your own YouTube show that criticizes our show.
Careful what you wish for, Rachel.